Okay, yeah, had a little bit of light rain last night. Maybe they'll survive, I don't know. But today, if I can get my chalks, I don't know if I'm going to use the whole chalks. Okay, so we got this sort of so we got ourselves some polystyrene in here, and that's basically to generate the reductive flammable gas. We've got ourselves some well, at the moment we're doing about a third. So then we got our in here. We've got ourselves our perlite, a fine perlite, and that's just like an area where the organism can grow in. The sort of pink to red organism goes red eventually. And over on here on this side we have our newspaper cellulose, which is really a sugar source basically for the penicillium, that the penicillin will break into it and convert it into mainly, I assume, glucose moieties and other breakdown products sort of thing. Wondering whether the liverworts can only really grow if they actually got some activity there, sort of thing. Anyway, and of course, this is all done with, you know, half and half of our sand. So basically, all this is basically 50-50 with the sand sort of thing. But what I want to do today is I want to see if I can expand this out. I was thinking of adding intermediate size perlite, but that's like $4 more expensive unless I can get it cheaply at the hydroponic store. I'm probably going to have to go to a hydroponic store and see if I can buy, you know, perlite in bulk and see if I can get the grade I want. But today what I want to do is see if I can expand this out so we basically have twice as much there, and each one of these then will become like 12.5%, which is just under the 15% rule, and we'll end up with 12.5% polystyrene, and then we'll end up with 25%. Is that right? Yeah, and the rest will be sand. I don't know. Is that right? Yeah. So that makes 50%, and the rest will be again sand. 50. But we've actually expanded out the middle of the well, in quotes, bell-shaped curve. But mainly because I think all you need is a quantity of polystyrene in it to get the organism to grow. I don't think you really have to have too much there, basically. And also it's water repellent in a way, does absorb a little bit of moisture. So we want to, they're bog plants, so the idea is just to generate the reductive flammable gas. So the more water you have there with the polystyrene, the more gas you're going to generate, because you can't generate the gas from the polystyrene without any water. So in theory, the more water you have, the more aqueous you make it, like in the bottles, the more reliable. Of course, you need reductive flammable gas is lighter than air, so it's going to go up as long as you have the container, the size of the container sealed, which is why one of the reasons, apart from the terracotta doesn't work because it's got iron in it, of course, which reacts with the chalk, and also which is part of the reason why they don't like calcium. But also it allows the reductive flammable gas to go out the sides, of course, so it's not really going up the pot, not feeding the organism in a way, keeping it in a nice reductive environment sort of thing. So what I'm doing today is I've set up this group here, so I'm going to add 2 of these, so I might as well get this out of the way. I'm basically going to add 2 of these. I think I'm probably going to have to do it in this one here. And I've got myself another bowl, which I'll cut with the container there. So I think that's going to have to go in there, basically. Now we're going to have 2 parts of sand to match the 2 parts of You might find it's slightly different with the intermediate grade perlite, because we've already noticed that the sand seems to go around the outside of that sort of reasonably well. It doesn't have to be too flash too, as long as you're on the ballpark sort of thing. As I said, the 15% rule basically means that, you know, any more than 6 to 7 parts in the soil, and you're just wasting your time trying to change the properties of the soil basically. But the rule only really applies for when things are of equal size. So everything is, yeah, fine, everything is your intermediate size and so on. But as we said, we've got to have the sand there apparently to get the I wouldn't say it's capillarity, to get the confluence I suppose, and also to keep everything wet I suppose, and so you can generate reductive flammable gas. So now we'll just add some water, which where is our yeah, I've got the tripod there and I'm not making use of it. It's just one of those days, I reckon. So we got 2 parts of sand, so basically it's always roughly half the sand is the amount of moisture you want, but we'll just check, because you can't take water out once you put it in. So let's see, and of course it'll be absorbed slightly by the perlite. Yep, I think we're right. Let's see, there we go. Yep, I think we're almost right. Any excess is going to be absorbed by the and as you can see, the sand is going around the grains of the perlite, and so it's, yeah, so there you go. So hopefully the organism will grow throughout all those perlite pellets and go red, you know, pink first and then go red, and of course then we're going to add, you might want to add our polystyrene, and we've got to add 1 part of sand to that, as we've learnt before. Well, hang on, let's just see what it looks like before we add the excess sand. We might learn something here.